For me, my favorite memory was 2 years ago. I got to be a part of the Southwest tour with concert band. We went to Arizona and California. In general, that was just an amazing experience. But in particular, I remember we had one concert that was outdoor in Arizona in the evening, and we had like probably the most picturesque backdrop you could imagine for a concert. There was mountains in the background. It was a obviously very warm night in Arizona, and it was just an amazing atmosphere. The audience was loving it. We were all enjoying playing, and it's the kind of performance experience that you just never forget.
I think my favorite memory in the band program probably comes from that same semester, no, the semester before that one. The semester we were working with Jack Stamp in concert band, and I remember I was the 5th choice for the tuba spot, the second chair tuba spot in concert band, just because other people had enough conflicts. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not ready to be in concert band. I never should be in concert band. And I felt like I shouldn't have been there. I never felt like I belonged in that sense. And I remember the very last concert in November. We finished up the encores, and I just remember standing up, and Jack Stamp walked right in front of me. And I'm sure this is a response he just gave to all of us, but he said, good job. And I just remember feeling like I'd finally reached the standard that I felt like I needed to be at, to at least be okay in concert band. And so for me, that was like a moment where I cemented oh, I can actually do this. I can actually be the musician that I want to be in this ensemble, and I felt like it actually lived up to my own expectations in that regard. So that's my favorite memory, just because of how important that one moment was to me, and I still randomly replay that when I'm on stage, just remembering how much just that little good job felt to me.
The first one that jumps out for me is every Halloween we throw a party during rehearsal time around that holiday, and we will all dress up. And my section one year dressed up as a bunch of billiards balls and a cue ball. And then we have someone come in and judge them. Usually it's the people who work in the office, and they came down, and we all got in a triangle, and then the person that was dressed as the cue ball ran at us, and we all went, whoa! And then we won, and it was really cool. And it was, it's not a musical moment, but it's a community moment. And I think that it helped me feel really at home, because it was my first year, so.
My favorite memory was also from a Halloween band event. And it was actually from this year. And the flute section kind of ran out of ideas, and we were coming in very last minute, and we decided we would all just dress in black and pass it off as being black cats. And I remember kind of meeting right before rehearsal, and we were thinking, oh no, nobody's gonna know what our costume is, and someone pulled out some black eyeliner from their backpack, and we decided, oh, we'll draw whiskers on her face, this is gonna be great, we're gonna save it. And then realizing that once we sat down, we all had masks on and no one could see any of the art that we had just drawn on our faces. And so it was just, again, just being silly with your section and just kind of embracing all the ridiculousness, especially this semester.
I'm going to go enriching. So I'm a music education major, so I'm going to be hopefully a future music educator, future band director. And I've just had so many experiences with multiple directors over the years in the band program that have, I feel enriched me so much as a person, as an educator, as a player. And it's just experiences that I will take with me for the rest of my career, rest of my life. So just amazing things that I've gotten from this program.
For me, it was challenge, because I felt like I was challenged in a way I never expected to be when I got to college. I really honestly expected just to be in varsity band. I, senior year, didn't even play tuba in high school. I was playing trombone. And I was like, oh, I'll just come back to tuba and just it'll be great, it'll be fine. I'll just play in varsity band all 4 years. I'll get a play because I enjoy it. And made it into an ensemble where I suddenly was a lot more challenged, and I felt the need to rise to that challenge in different ways and in different formats every single semester that I've been a part of the band program, and I feel like I've grown as a musician because of it. My
one word is community. It's really nice at college to have a group of people that you get to see regularly. And you get to see all year long. You change classes every semester, and so sometimes you'll see a person for 14 weeks and then never again. But your section you see several times a week all year long, and the inside jokes and just the fun that we have together I think is really special, and it's unique to your time at college.
One word to describe my experience in the band program has been just the connections that I've made. I'm still close friends with people that I met freshman year who I only spent a year with, and they graduated, but everyone was just so welcoming, and you really felt right from the start that you had a place here and that you had friends that were always going to be looking out for you, and you could always find someone in your class that you knew through music and have that special connection that you don't really get in any other discipline here.
The biggest takeaway for me is probably just how collaborative a community the Luther band and just music program in general is. At a lot of places, you get so many high-achieving musicians in the same area, and there's going to be like some competitiveness and some clashing. And it's just amazing to me that there's so many great musicians here at Luther, but at the same time, it's such a collaborative environment. Everyone's trying to help each other, everyone's having a good time, everyone's out to just work with each other, and I just think that's awesome. You don't find that at a lot of places. A lot of places you'll go to a conservatory maybe, and it's high achieving, but there's the community's not there, or you go to like some other place and it's maybe the opposite. So just the community and the high achieving is awesome.
I think I agree with Andrew. It's been a lot of support for me. I've always felt like I've had support in the tuba section, or like the tuba euphonium studio is always bizarre and fun and weird, as you know. But just the practices for that, having getting together with the whole studio and playing music an hour a week as part of Low Brass Studio is just so much fun. And just finding that community, a place where I could get better and be better as a musician, but it didn't feel like anyone was trying to out-compete me or dethrone anybody else. So it was just nice to find a community that we could all be good musicians and not feel the need to tear each other down at the same time.
Having a bunch of tuba euphonium players in the same room is a unique experience, you're right. But my biggest lesson has come a little bit more recently, I think. This semester, there was no guarantee of a concert for us, or really any performances at all. And so I had to kind of learn to make music because it's worth making in its own right. And we had to come to rehearsals sometimes a little bit late at night and still give it our all and make music because it's beautiful and because it nourishes us. And that was something that, being a music education major, when it's kind of your job, you kind of lose sight of that. But it was definitely something that I learned through the semester in band at Luther.
I think my biggest takeaway, I kind of realized last year, I took a semester to study in Rochester in another Luther program, and I didn't have that ensemble time that I was used to having for my last 3 years. And I was really feeling very sad about not having that connection. But then I realized, my studio teacher said, oh, I know someone in Rochester who goes to this church, and you should connect with them. And that made me realize that that kind of Luther music connection is so much broader than just the ensembles. And, you can always plug into music somewhere, whether it's at Luther or somewhere else.
I would just say my advice would be invest in the band program yourself as a person. So as a first year, I feel like I was a little more reserved than I would have liked to be, and I maybe didn't try to make as many connections as I would have liked to. And I definitely regret that. I wish that I would have just invested myself into getting to know as many people as possible and making as many connections as possible. Tour is a great time. If the ensembles that go on tour is a great time where you are kind of forced to make those connections, but my advice would just be take initiative early on and just make connections on your own and just try to get to know as many people as possible.
I think my advice would have to be just try. Just try to make music. Just try to find a place inside the band program. I guarantee there's a place for anyone who wants to play at Luther inside of the band program. So, because I never expected to be anything more than the second chair of varsity band for my entire 4 years. And I remember Smith, my lesson teacher, I was talking about not auditioning for concert band sophomore year, 3 days before the auditions, and he goes, "Why not?" It's like, "What? Well, why not? Why not audition?" Okay, I guess. So I auditioned, technically didn't make it, eventually made it, but just try. You'll never know where you end up if you don't try. So why not?
Mine is kind of similar to that as well. College is kind of the last time in your life when you get to just make music and like spend a lot of time making music. And so go all in, you know, don't pass up those opportunities, just try it. And then like relish in it, because it's going to be over pretty quickly, and then you're going to be standing around with your friends looking back and like, wow, we've done so much and now we're not doing that. So yeah, just go all in.
Coming into college not being a music major or minor, I think I definitely had some reservations about doing music at all in college, and so my advice would be to just go for it. It's similar to what you guys were saying, but it's just so true. Nobody is here to compete with you and judge you, especially, you know, if you're not a major. There's not that like dividing line between majors and non-majors. Everyone just wants to create music, and it's just so worth it. I think I would have been so sad if I had stopped making music just at the end of high school, and like you said, looking back now, it's very sad to be leaving all of this, and so it's worth it.
So I guess I've just learned about myself that maybe I have more potential than I internally feel like I have, you know? So I auditioned as a first year and was in concert band, and I felt really out of place for the first few weeks. I remember the first time we were reading through a piece, I got lost in like the first 4 measures, and I was just lost the rest of the piece. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I am not cut out to be here. But I feel like sometimes this is the case with a lot of people, I'm guessing. Sometimes you don't know your own potential as much as other people do. So just have confidence and just do your best, and it'll all work out.
I learned that there's a lot more potential in friendships than I ever realized. Because one of my closest friends at Luther was one of my section mates. And in times where I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody or I struggled super deeply, I could walk into band and my friend would just go, "How's it going?" I could just unload for 10 seconds, we would both nod, and then we'd play music. And then I'm going to his wedding this summer. So like, it's learning that I need to allow and will be allowing those friendships to bloom and to be created in ways that I never would have expected. And so I guess I learned the power that comes from friendship that's just unexpected.
I think I learned that you're not your playing, if that makes any sense. A lot of times, I think, especially in competitive areas like high school or conservatories, like Andrew said earlier, you kind of equate your abilities with your worth, you know, whether it's your worth in the ensemble or like your worth as a person even, and to like learn that like that's not true, that you are a complete human being that also plays music and is enjoying it, and that's what matters. And so yeah, that's what I've learned through Luther, is that no one's gonna be judging you or critiquing you. They're gonna be happy that you're there, and they know that you're worthy of being there because you're there, and they're excited for you because of that.
I would say that the band program and music at Luther in general has really taught me how important it is to have an outlet where you can just be and you can relax and enjoy the company that you have around with you and the music that you're making together. I think there are very few activities that have such a power to do that, where you're so connected even though you're also, you know, kind of individually contributing. And I don't think like I said before, you don't get that from many places. And so finding that outlet that makes you feel comfortable and, you know, accepted is just something that's really special.
So I have been a member in my time at Luther of concert band, symphony, jazz band, jazz orchestra, and chamber orchestra. So I've been in 4 ensembles at a single time for 1 semester. So I've been quite busy with musical activities. And granted, I am a music major, so it kind of works with my passion and my interests. But band is definitely something that it's not, you can work with other ensembles, you can work with other activities, and it doesn't inhibit, at least it didn't inhibit anything for me. Obviously you need to practice, obviously you need to come to rehearsals, but like we talked about before, I mean, it's not a cutthroat competitive environment, so there's no worry about that. And yeah, it's definitely doable, whether you're a music major or whether you're a non-music major.
I was in Wind and Perk. I've done a couple years of concert band. I've been in all of the choirs I could be in as a tenor bass voice. I've done other small various ensembles here and there as they needed low brass players. But band specifically, no matter what level I encountered it at, it was always something that I could negotiate if needed to. Like if I was like, oh, well, I'm going to be gone for this hour for this reason, okay, that's fine. It was, and I think that's honestly true of, I think, nearly every ensemble on campus, as long as you tell them early enough. I guess the answer is it's less about scheduling and more about communication. It's possible to do music. It's 100% possible. I'm a non-major. I do a lot of music. It's just all about the communication of it, I would say, more than anything else. Because if you communicate, oh, well, I can do this ensemble in this way at this time this semester, generally your director will take that at face value from what I've seen.
Yeah, I've been in several ensembles, and one thing that's been really nice about band is that it's usually towards the end of the day, and so there's less classes generally, and if they are during that time period, they're also offered at 10 or something, so you can also take it at that time. And then it kind of becomes like a bookend to the day. It's a nice way to wrap it up where I don't have to worry about homework yet, but I'm not doing classes either, so I can just play music and joke around with my friends, and then I can move on with the rest of my day. So that's kind of how it's fit into my schedule. No matter what ensemble I've been in, it's kind of near the end of the day.
I would say a lot of the same things. So I haven't even really felt like it's a class that I have to fit in. It's like something that I get to look forward to after a really busy day. And so from a scheduling perspective, it didn't feel like a burden to try and squeeze something in. But like you said, communication, I mean, the directors will know you by name. They know what's going on. They're completely willing to talk to you at any point if something is too much and create a solution because they want you to be here. It's not something where they're waiting for you to, miss something to kick you out. They're wanting to work with you so that you can take advantage of the great music program that we have.
I'm just gonna miss, this is an obvious answer, but I'm just gonna miss the people in the community at Luther. I mean, man, I've been in the bands for 4 years now, and I made so many friends and so many connections, and there's just so many people that I've seen every day consistently for the past almost 4 years now. So I'm definitely gonna miss just having that instant connection. And don't get me wrong, it's awesome to keep in contact with people. You're gonna make lifelong friends in band and everything else at Luther, but it's just, I'm gonna miss that close connection that I have to people.
Yeah, I'm echoing what you said. I'm really gonna miss the communities I've found here. I'm gonna miss the band community. I'm gonna miss the vocal community. I'm going to miss my ballroom community that I'm a part of. I'm gonna miss my history major community, because that's its own weird little niche community on campus. Those are the people I'm gonna miss, because I miss walking into an ensemble and seeing the person you've known since first semester of freshman year, or seeing the person that you've just met this semester, but you're starting to actually kindle that friendship. It was always nice to be able to walk into a room and just know that there was gonna be a community basically wherever you went. Because that's not how the real world works. It's like you do things, and there are times you have to interact with strangers and almost never have a lifeline when you walk into a room. So it was nice after 3.5, 4 years to just walk into a room and know that I'm probably going to know someone no matter what. And I'm going to have that community no matter where I go on campus. So that's what I'm going to miss.
You kind of took the easy ones, but walking from the Union to Jensen Noble is what I'm going to miss the most, because our campus is really pretty. Usually I've eaten at the Union, so I've got a full belly. And then I'm always going to see someone I know. I don't think I've ever taken that walk and not come across someone coming from Jensen that I know, or a resident from the hall that I work in. I'm going to see somebody. And it's a really fun moment where I can take a breather in the middle of the day and connect with someone, and then continue towards whatever adventure I have next, whether it's band rehearsal or a class or whatever. So yeah, that walk is something that I'm gonna miss a lot.
I'm gonna miss the deer a little bit, I have to be honest. I gotta sneak them in there somehow. It sounds so silly, but it's like such a cool thing that I think a lot of people don't get. They're different here. I don't know. But I will also miss just all of the real people. And it's a time in your life where, like you said, you have your closest friends around you 24/7. And I don't think that's something that I realized until like last week when I was thinking, I'm gonna be home next week and I can't go down the hall and just say hi to everybody or just sit there and do nothing but just be together. And that's something that you're not gonna get back, so it's gonna be sad.